You said Harold Pinter might be your higher power.
He is my higher power. I do feel that he is definitely someone that was... I quite like this spiritual aspect. I'm not a religious person, but I like the idea of someone watching over you and just sort of dragging you by the fucking collar now and again through certain moments.
Why him?
I just think that we had a mad bond. He was someone who came into my life as a bit of a father figure for a period of time, and spoke to me in a way like no one else had the bollocks to.
Really?
And he got me, and yeah, it's weird. And then I fucked up again. And listen, this man,
do you mean the New York incident?
Yeah.
I mean, it's been well rehearsed. You talked about it, but basically, you did a play with him in New York.
I let him down.
You discovered
let
crack
myself down.
in New York.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I'd never been to America.
And froze up on stage.
And all of a sudden, I'm on Broadway. And I got involved in shit I probably shouldn't have. Well, I shouldn't have. The arrogance of me thinking I can puff on a crack pipe and then walk straight on a stage and do Pinter is just ridiculous, But I learnt the hard way with that.
Were you curious to try it, or were you trying to manage some anxiety issues?
I just loved getting off my head. That's the truth. And the thing about when you do a play, theatre, it's such a mad existence. You don't quite know what to do with yourself all day. You're flitting around. You don't want to eat too early or too late. You got to get into town for a certain time, and then you hit your call, and then you build up to do the show, and then you do it. Even when you're knackered, the adrenaline that's running through your body, and then the show closes, say, at 9:30, 10 o'clock, and your adrenaline's still going. So what do you do with yourself? Do you know what I mean? It's like this high. Because, ideally you'd like to do the play, and a lot of actors do that. They've got a technique of calming down, go home, have a cup of tea, go to bed, it all starts again. It's a cycle. And I suppose when you've been doing it for as long as we've done that play, I knew it back to front. I thought I could get away with it.
Which play was it?
It was called Celebration. It was the last play he wrote.
Was it?
It was all set in a restaurant like the Ivy. He was sort of taking the piss out of the Ivy and the bollocks that comes with the people that frequent it. And I played the waiter, and it's a brilliant piece of work. It's cuts between two tables, and I sort of link it together by bringing food out every night. And it was a wonderful piece of work, and it was really an ensemble piece. And I let everybody down. I'm still not over it.
Let them down how?
Well, when you dry on stage, and it does happen, by the way, people dry.
Yeah,
it's a hard gig. You're not just letting yourself down, you're letting all them down, aren't you? They know their lines, they're sweet, they're on it, and then you don't know your lines, so you leave them in a situation where, because they was all looking at me, fuming, going, go on in, prick. I think they knew I'd been out. So they're sort of going, well, you've got yourself in this mess, and I didn't know what to do, I was going to walk off. And then Andy Delatour, who was at the table that I interject in, said, I bet your grandfather knew C.S. Lewis, didn't, something like that.
What prompted you?
Yeah, and then I went, yes, yeah, he did. And then, of course, my repetition of doing it so much, I said it and done it, hated every second of it. All of a sudden, I hated acting, hated myself. It was such a powerful moment for me that I've never really recovered from it, because I never used to get nervous. Like, before any play I'd ever done, I was always well drilled, and I loved it, and was, loved showing off. And then when it went really badly wrong for me, any play I've done since, I've shat myself every night, because I know the feeling of when it goes wrong. Of course, I look after myself now, and I'm not in my dressing room with a pipe hanging out of my mouth, so very different to now. But it's still there, that feeling of vulnerability, and the blood rushing from my feet to my head. I always remember it, of going, oh my God, everyone's waiting for me to speak. And just sort of shrinking into myself, which as an actor, once your confidence is gone, you're done.
Do you think the audience could tell?
No.
Really?
Well, the great thing about Pinter is he's known for pausing, isn't
That's it.
So no one knew, only me and the cast, and of course Harold, who sort of put his arm around me and made me feel worse because he was sort of being passive-aggressive with me.
Really? What did he do?
Well, he just sort of said, if ever there's an ensemble piece, Danny, it's this. You do need to get to bed. And I was like, oh, he knows, because I went straight through. I remember coming back from wherever I was. It was in Soho. I remember sucking on a pipe and looking at the clock, and it was 1:45 in the afternoon. Thinking, shit, I've got to be on stage at 6. And then
on a crack pipe, do you mean?
Yeah, and then got back to the hotel, because we was all staying in the same hotel praying. I didn't bump into Harold in the fucking reception. Just get to your room. and hopefully you can fall asleep. And then
It would have been 2:45 in the morning.
in the afternoon.
Oh, stop it.
Yeah.
You would-
God, no, not in the, no. That's an early night.
Really? 2:45
Yeah.
in the afternoon. You were on the
I've
pipe.
been on it all night. Yeah, I finished the play. We've
On
done
your
it.
own?
We've done it. No, I was with other people.
Should we draw a veil over
knew
that part of it?
Well, you know,
Who would have
it's,
been just local characters?
No. I knew people out there. So it was
What, expats, or you'd found a little crew that?
other actors and stuff.
Really?
But you know, you live and learn through these experiences, and I had to take full responsibility for it, and I, punished myself. You know, there's a lot of people that would have gone missing. I did have an understudy. It's almost worse if you do that. In a way, the other actors hate you more for using an understudy. So I just thought, no, you've got yourself in this mess.
You knew that you were in trouble when you arrived.
But I thought, do you know what? You've done it enough. Yes, you're wired, but you can do it. You know, you're bulletproof. And it turns out I weren't.